investigative journalism in some of these countries, you're running for your life. The time when I was writing, it was a time when the war was going on in Uganda for years. If you heard about Connie, who killed so many kids, they abducted so many kids. What's happening now used to happen in Africa, used to happen in times of wars. It looked as if this was a game, but it wasn't a game with people's lives. It wasn't about who has killed more people. It was about, okay, and as journalists, can you report objectively to offer certain solutions? And believe me, women, children, they didn't know what was going on. But they knew they were out of their homes and probably they will never see their husbands. It's very easy to think, oh, it's someone else. Yeah. It's not someone else. The freedom they're taking away from someone, it could affect you in the short term. So you do this for your own blog, or what do you?
Yeah.
Day of My Life, or?
Day of My Life, yeah.
Okay.
And you meet so many people, man. You meet artists, you meet musicians,
it is true.
Business people, brother.
Yeah, I come from.
I love it. Yes.
I come from a journalistic background.
A what?
I used to be a writer, a reporter. I used to write, do news stories for a newspaper and radio.
In Uganda?
In Uganda.
Amazing.
I did that for 7 years, and I used to do that. And believe me, years way after when I stopped, I still have friends that I met.
Yes.
You know, by then, things like this were not...
right.
But if they were, you know, you'll be surprised how, because some of those contacts disappear.
Yeah. No, it's a whole new world, brother.
It's a different world.
A whole new universe. Every day changes, man.
Changes so
every
fast.
Day. That's why I like this, man, because I can record it immediately.
You can record it.
Immediately.
Keep going. Because with the news media writing,
yes,
if nobody reads your story today, it becomes, but if you
there are readers.
Yeah.
But video is nice.
You can always go back and refer to it.
You see? No, I love, this is
keep going.
That's what I learned, that journalism is the original, you know?
Yes, yeah.
It's the original, and writing, all writing is the original form of this art, you know? Just park back inside?
You'll pull it where these people...
Pull it back. Oh, right here?
Yeah, where these people are pulling out, just go ahead and pull in.
Very good. Yeah, man, this is nice, man. I like Subarus, I like Hondas, Japanese cars, you know? My dad had an 88 Civic, and I love that car. Wow, man, so you gotta tell me about your history, man. Do a little who was the company that you worked for?
I worked for a company called the Monitor newspaper.
Thank you, brother. The Monitor newspaper?
Yeah, it's in Uganda. It's the Monitor newspaper. I was there. At first, my beat was sports. I used to, you know, when I say beat I used to cover soccer mainly. Like now, you see how this is going on, the World Cup thing is going on and stuff like that. Yeah. So I used we had what they call news bureaus, where like in Eastern region, there was a bureau, and the Western, so in that the regional bureau, you had a group of reporters that could go in the field, and then if you had things you had to write or big stories, you could come and sit in that bureau, type out your news stories and send them to the main office. Yeah. However, with soccer, because the sport is always played in the evenings, it was very tricky, whereby you had, that's why most people always ask, how come the sports stories are always at the back page of the newspaper? Yeah. You know, actually the newspaper, the headline and sports is the last pages to be, before the paper goes to sleep. Oh. They always make that, because it might be 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock. So before the paper actually goes to bed, they go through all the news stories and look through the news story. What news story is going to sell tomorrow? Yeah. That's going to go on the headline of the paper. That's why sometimes something will happen at 10 o'clock and then in the morning that news is in there. And so what happened? I thought there are other things that happen because that becomes the latest news story. So so many things would happen between that time. So the main editor sometimes stay, like sports editor stays late, and the main editor sometimes would stay waiting for that hit, scoop. Who is going to break, which news story is going to sell the following day.
Oh.
So you could go different places, but in this case where I used to cover soccer.
Yes.
So soccer games or the leagues, they used to play after everybody gets off work. So that's between 5 and 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So when sometimes when the match ends, you have to go and type out your story. So sometimes in that case, if the time is you're running short, maybe they want that news story. They have another story they're going to use at the back page, but they want to include this on one of the pages. You don't have that time. The editor will have to call you, the sports editor. Say, hey, how did the game go? So you must know how to summarize okay, so and so scored at this time. These were the highlights, and then the sports editor will put together the story. So sometimes they would ask you, what was the most important thing?
Yeah.
Was it a new player who scored? So it was very interesting. You're always on your toes.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it was in the investigative journalism.
Yes.
Where if they gave you a story, say, hey, you have to investigate this story. There is corruption in this area, but in that case, you don't have to rush. You have to because if that story comes out, you must have credible sources. Otherwise, they are going to sue the paper. Yeah. So you have to take your time. Who is giving you the story? Is that person? Can you quote them, or they don't want to be quoted? So that was my daily life every day.
Wow.
Wake up in the morning, find other news stories, and then you find the game. You write about players. What are they doing? Where are they going? How are they? So that was my.
I imagine they were incredible players back then.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
some
incredible
athletes.
Yeah, so many, and it's interesting that the friends I got when I was covering sports, I've maintained those friends to this day.
Really,
doesn't matter where they are.
Yeah,
because in sports you make friends, and those friends last. Doesn't matter where they go. Investigative journalism in some of these countries, you're running for your life. You have to protect your sources. But when you're in trouble, there's that ethic. Do you release your sources of information, or do you protect them as per the laws of journalism?
Yes.
When do you release their names if the paper is taken to court? Those are some of the things that you had to weigh writing political stories, and in some of those countries, because at the time when I was writing, it was a time when the war was going on in Uganda for years. If you heard about Kony, who killed so many kids, they abducted so many kids in one region. It was a warlord.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah,
I heard about him.
He killed so many people, displaced up to now. So many. If you go to northern part of the country, there are so many orphaned kids that never saw their parents. Parents left in the morning to go and work in the gardens. They never saw them today. They will never see them. They don't know where they went. And these kids never went back to their respective, because either all the relatives were gone. So those were the times that we were covering this game, these stories. We were writing these stories. So at first, when you see what's happening here, the news media is like they have taken it to be like it's a sport where they have to report, one side has to win over the other. What's happening now used to happen in Africa. Used to happen in times of wars, and we had to learn as journalists to write a story. As a journalist, you must, because you are in the field, you are on the ground, you had to learn to write a story. But because you're in the field and you're talking to various people, what are the solutions? What are people saying? And as a journalist, you must write objectively where both sides, you offer ideas where both sides can actually come together to find, because at that point we used to write, oh, this group killed such a number of people, the other group killed, and it looked as if this was a game, but it wasn't a game with people's lives. It wasn't about who has killed more people. It was about, okay, why, and as journalists, can you report objectively to offer certain solutions instead of looking at a war as a source where, oh, if I write this big story that the rebels killed such a number of people, my story is going to be on the front page and I'm going to get paid a lot of money because so you had to change where it's no longer about my story appearing. You were benefiting from the lives of people, the children. So when you see where people come up and say, oh, you know, such a number of kids were killed in Iran in a school, and it's a big story, and people think, yeah, you know, this is not the case on the ground. We had a chance to go to a real war area and interview people. Interview people in the displaced camps. What is it? And believe me, women, children, they didn't know what was going on, but they knew they were out of their homes and probably they will never see their husbands. So it's different when you now see
absolutely
these things, and but based on at least now you have this to document. If you're writing and reporting in certain areas, you cannot, you are not allowed to document the things. If you went in an area, you're carrying out an investigative story, you cannot go. They will check your camera. The government will do this. They will go through all the notes you have. So you have to find a creative way.
Serious.
So now here you can record someone, you can go and put it out on a blog, and nobody's going to knock at your door and say, hey, why did you do this? But you never know.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell people that when you see certain things and you jubilate because they're checking everybody's phone, or they're saying, hey, give me your phone and stuff like that, it's very easy to think, oh, it's someone else.
Yeah.
But it's not someone else. The freedom they're taking away from someone, it could affect you in the short term.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
that's what really, that was part of my story. And then of course
no, thank you for sharing, Charles. This is, you know, I totally hear everything you say, and I think about, you know, I think about those things too, you know, like what's really the truth, you know, and what is really going on, because now people have lost trust in the news. Yes, I'm telling you, if you go back, understandably, no,
some of the things that people believe are the things people are recording. Because there is no, if somebody was shot and it was recorded by the phone, and you could be a blogger like you, and you post it out there, and everybody will see and they will make their judgment and say, it's true, this happened. But if somebody now writes something to the extent that people don't believe the news anymore, because it has either gone either way. If somebody's views are totally in this way, it doesn't matter whether this news media reports something that's really true, so long as it doesn't align with what this person believes in, they're not going to believe the news. So what's out there that's replacing this news and stuff like that, it's the bloggers. You go out, you record something, you put it out there. Somebody 2, 3, 4 months time will still come out. If they didn't see that, that will be still news to them, and they will still know that, hey, so this really happened. But believe me, in the morning, if you didn't catch up with the news,
I got to ride around. I met a very interesting man, Charles. Used to be a journalist. Had an incredible conversation with him. Check it out. Unfortunately, it did stop recording at a very interesting part of the conversation. It was towards the end of our conversation. I did have a great introduction, a great little conversation. So feel free to check it out. Watching Eric Acosta, and my interviews are posted mostly on Maramoshi, which you can find on YouTube, Twitch, really everything, Instagram, TikTok. And I try to post interesting clips and content that I get from just vlogging and living my life. I run into crazy artists, business people, just individuals, creative artists, normal people who are just hanging out in the street, hanging out outside, and they're just open to a conversation. And I like to record all of it, and I think it's a beautiful thing. That's it for the thumbnail. Anyways, peace out. Eric O. Acosta. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, everything. Maramoshi. Follow on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, everything. You already know. Out.